An affidavit of domestic partnership, proof of shared residence, proof of a joint bank account. These are all examples of proof that I am involved in a committed relationship with someone to which we both share a mutual financial responsibility for the other. If I am in a state that allows domestic partnership, these are documents that I would have to provide my employer prior to be able to, say, add my partner to my company health insurance plan. Even if I was in a state that allowed domestic partnership, what little progress gay marriage has made could all be taken away in an instant. Think about everyone you know. I'm sure someone you know, a colleague, a friend, maybe even a member of your own family could face this same adversity. On June 26, 2013, history was made when the United States Supreme Court found DOMA to be unconstitutional. Even with this landmark decision, there's still work to be done in the hearts and minds of many. Today, I will first help you to see that all Americans, regardless of their sexual identity, deserve equal rights under the law. Second, I will refute some common fallacies proponents for DOMA like to make. And finally, I will tell you how you can make a difference and have your voice for equal rights heard. I'll begin by telling you about a few of the most important reasons why DOMA needs to be repealed. Prior to June 26th of this year, Matt Stopera of BuzzFeed Politics reported that President Obama was shopping around the Respect for Marriage Act, which would repeal DOMA. Stopera also offered contact information that I will share with you later. Same-sex spouses are treated as legal strangers by the government and therefore subject to different rules governing taxes and benefits. The employer-paid health benefits are considered to be taxable income for same-sex couples, while straight couples are not taxable. Same-sex couples cannot file a joint tax return, and when it comes to inheritance tax, gay couples may have to pay a significant estate tax. Heterosexual couples do not have to pay. Preventing same-sex relationships from obtaining the respect paid to other marriage relationships, DOMA essentially enshrines the old stigma of LGBT, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender people as lonely and incapable of healthy and happy relationships into the law of the United States. Preventing same-sex relationships from obtaining. The following excerpt by Evan Hurst, entitled A Mother's Heartbreaking Tale of Losing Her Gay Son, illustrates the consequences of intolerance and the importance of treating everyone equally. The religious right hates when we point out that their teachings are directly related to the problems of bullying, depression, self-loathing, and suicide. We don't point this out to be mean or as a smear. We point it out because it's true. We also understand that many run-of-the-mill fundamentalists truly believe that they're doing the right thing when it comes to society, the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community, and their own children. This is the disconnected messaging because aside from religious rights leaders who actually do know better, yet are motivated by obscene anti-gay animus and thus continue to lie, many religious people are hurting their own families and they don't even know it. And some of the results are tragic. No matter your religious affiliations, equal marriage rights for LGBT is an issue that is far from over. Sanford Joy Rosen writes in the Huffington Post, a blog titled With Liberty and Justice for All, Gays Are People Too, entitled To All Rights, Privileges, and Obligations Enjoyed by Straight People. In his blog, Rosen thinks back to the late 1960s when he taught a seminar at the University of Maryland on modern civil rights law. He remembers, just as my students had not understood that African Americans are people, most opponents of full rights for LGBT people discount their value as people. I'm sure that you can see the need for people like you to support marriage equality. Let's take a look at some of the fallacies that proponents of DOMA want us to believe. I think the most common fallacy I hear is the slippery slope argument. A slippery slope, according to our PowerPoint and our text, is a fallacy that assumes that taking a first step will lead to a subsequent second step that cannot be prevented. Just 2 days before the U.S. Supreme Court decision this week, Ken Cuccinelli, the Attorney General of Virginia, warned of a slippery slope from gay marriage to polygamy. This reported by Michael Falcone of the ABC News website, June 25, 2013. However, Cuccinelli's slippery slope is not the only one, and this argument presents the decision leading to another, each one with more egregious consequences. Of course, I'm speaking about Pat Robertson's ludicrous prediction that if we allow same-gender people to marry, we will have opened the door to sanctioning relationships between humans and beasts, and soon our children will wed their pets and farm animals. To respond to proponents such as Pat Robertson, Bynum writes that some slippery slope arguments are based on an understandable premise. If we eliminate traditional standards for evaluating human action, won't that leave us without any standards by which to govern behavior in society? But the absence of some fixed standards does not mean that we will descend unimpeded into moral chaos. It just means we may work to identify which standards are most reasonable given the conditions that characterize a given issue at a given time. Another more simply stated counter is this: marriage is a contract, and non-human animals cannot sign contracts. This, in turn, leads to numerous more versions stating that siblings would then be marrying each other, leading to bigamy, polygamy, and group marriages, and the ridiculousness goes on and on. By now, I'm sure the arguments I've presented and refuted have you all fired up for marriage equality, and you might be asking yourself, well, how can I make my voice heard? Let me tell you. Even though DOMA has been struck down and marriage equality has been restored to the 9 states that recognize gay marriage, there are still many things you can do to show your support. While researching for this speech, I Googled how to support marriage equality, and the search engine reported about 116 million results. With this said, finding ways to support marriage equality is as easy as typing in the words on a computer keyboard. However, my fellow classmates and colleagues are here in the great state of New Mexico. One of my favorite websites is www.eqnm.org, or Equality New Mexico, which I receive periodic updates from them automatically by providing them with my email address. And you can too. Once on the website, you'll find the links to get involved. As you can easily see, marriage equality can be one of the most important decisions you'll ever make, and in many cases will not change your life one bit. I've told you about the need for marriage equality in our area as well as nationally. I've disputed some common fallacies for gay marriage, and I have given you some ideas on how to become more involved in marriage equality. What if the person sitting next to you in class that you respect and admire is gay? Imagine if you had a brother or sister who one day comes to you and says, "I'm gay." How would you feel knowing your sibling, someone you love and care about, might never know the joy of equality like you know? Think of the justice and value you would show to your sibling through validating the relationship by voting for marriage equality. I'll leave you with a quote from Brad Pitt, retrieved from viewmixed.com. "It is each American's constitutional right to marry the person they love, no matter what state they inhabit. No state should decide who can marry and who cannot. Thanks to the tireless work of so many, someday soon this discrimination will end and every American will be able to enjoy their equal right to marriage." Now, I ask you, please commit to ending marriage discrimination today.